What up? What up? What up? Welcome in to Pregaming on the home of the new Sports Money Network. I'm your boy, Mikey Money, here to talk to you guys about the NBA, the NHL playoffs. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to drop a bet in the NHL or the NBA until you hear what I have to say today. That is a fact. I am either going to help you win a bunch of money or help you from losing a bunch of money because that information is so valuable. Can't wait to share it with you guys. We're going to talk 3 NHL games, Lightning and Les Habitants, the Sabres and the Bruins, and the Vegas Knights and the Utah Mammoth out there in the, well, I guess they're in Utah, as it turns out. Then we'll talk the NBA. We got 3 games in the NBA with the Pistons and the Magic, the Cavs and the Raptors, the Lakers and the Rockets. I've added 2 baseball plays. I'll talk Nerfies and Yerfies. I've got a player prop or 2 up my sleeve. And we'll talk sharp, respected betting report to bring it to a close. All the movement I made, all the updates and graphics I did, and yet I didn't copy over my show intro. What a fucking rookie mistake. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to make a new one now is what I'm going to have to do. That's the way it's going to have to go down. So many to make, so many things to do, but I'm here with you guys at the new home of the Sports Money Network. The new home feels a little bit like the old home. That's because we brought the furniture with us, but it very much is a new place to begin and grow. We are firing too, man. Today, rapid growth. Holy shit. Almost. It might even be, let me refresh. On the debut, the official debut, we had a soft opening last night. Everyone got a little excited. They got a little ahead of themselves. Official first day for the new Sports Money Network, and we've crossed over 16,000 subscribers. That is huge. That is a massive run. Big day for additions. So welcome in if you are new here to the Sports Money community. The Sports Money Network is live and running. We are operational on all kinds of social media platforms. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Kick. We're live on Twitter. We're live on the moon. We're probably live on Mars on top of that. But for some reason, they're having trouble connecting on all those platforms. They're probably like, holy shit, these guys have another show going on? Really? That's right. That's what you can expect here. Pre-gaming the Sports Money Network. We are rolling. We kick the day off with Ramon Scott in the morning steam at 9 a.m. We fire with Bases Loaded, myself and Sharky at noon, simultaneous to the Racing with Razor programming that goes through about 4 p.m. I pop back in here at 5 p.m. Monday through Friday for pre-gaming. And then we look at some live streams. Big games, you know we're going live for them, you guys. So get ready, get set. We are going to go rip up these bookies. Grow our bankrolls here collectively with this community. So I'm excited to be here. I hope you guys are excited as well. We've given you a boatload of action, boatload of plays, boatload of sports and betting content today. Just a taste of what's happening. Now, listen, you got to be aware. You got some decisions to make is what you got to do. We've already decided that we make more money than anybody in the UFC. That is a fact. Now, I finished the graphics because we will have a live show tomorrow morning. But you need to decide, how are you going to attack it? Because it starts at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. Eastern. They're out in Australia. They're the land down under, mate. Bunch of cheeky Sheilas. I think my Australian accent crossed into my Boston accent a little bit there. But cheeky Sheilas aside, we're going to start at 4:10 a.m. Well, it starts at 4:10 a.m. So we'll be live around, we'll probably be 4. Well, let's be honest. It'll probably be 4. I want to say 3:45, but what I have to decide is just how late I stay up tonight because it's going to be a banger before we roll into Kentucky Derby horse racing time, you guys. Getting after it for the live stream. The boys will be firing off the ponies before we get back together again tomorrow night for some playoff basketball, playoff hockey, baseball, who knows what else under the sun to get it done. So it's busy. It's really busy. It's incredibly busy. And we're here on the first official day of the program. This is the first pre-gaming show on the new network. I should have gone back to last call. You know what? Maybe we will. Fuck them. Fuck them. You know who stole that fucking show name? That's a good goddamn show name, too. We might just have to steal it back. I mean, technically it's ours. It's mine. Might have to take it back. I like pre-gaming though, because it does kind of make me feel a little bit like we're pre-gaming. We're having a cocktail before we get ready for the big events here this evening. So that's the deal. You guys know what's up. We are on our way. If you haven't done so already, we appreciate the support. We appreciate the growth. We appreciate the new viewers out there. If you're watching us on X, come on over to the YouTube channel itself. Smack the thumbs up button. Show some support. Show some love. This is the home for all of your gambling content, information, need, fix, winning plays, you name it. We got it here. We just need your help getting the word out, and you do that by saying, hey, thank you. Let me hit that thumbs up button and help this community grow. Take a second to do so now. There it is. We got a new thumbs up video up in this piece. Let's do it. You guys know the deal. We got some new furniture too. You can't just move in and bring the old fucking couch that your buddy was sleeping on in hot summer days and throwing up all over himself, right? You got to throw that thing out. You bring a new couch in. Kenny Wood shouting out Nicholas Handy. Says he loves his passion and expertise. Well, listen, it's certainly early morning for Mr. Handy. I don't know if he'll be around, but he's always invited. You guys know the deal. Very excited for what's coming down the boat or down the pike here, but you guys know, listen, a lot of you guys coming over from the old channel. Those that are here that are wondering what the heck this show's all about. We look at trends, angles. We look at best bets. We look at player props. We try to put it all together. And the biggest thing is critical thinking, right? That's the biggest miss. Like, for example, there's going to be a bunch of bozos out there that talk to you about how the team with the rest advantage is going to win. Not going to argue with it. But what they're doing is they're regurgitating the fact that last week, baseball teams with a day's rest advantage versus those that were traveling went 8-1. That's a streak. A trend is like when you figure, hey, you know what? This team's got momentum. The other team was up 3-0 in the series. They've now come back twice. Momentum is shifting in that direction. No. You might look at that Lakers series and go, hey, the streak they got 2 games in a row. I don't think 2 games is a streak anyways, but momentum's on their side. The Rockets are going to go out there and blow the doors off the Lakers tonight. And I would come back and say, no. Listen, the trend, not the streak, the trend is that when a team has won the first 3 games of the series, they've then dropped 2, and it is game 6 in the NBA playoffs for the last 18 years. That team that won the first 3 games goes out there and shuts the series down. We saw it last night. We saw it again in the NHL. That is the way the cookie crumbles. And that's what I mean by critical thinking and trying to bring it all together. Not just going to tell you that the Rockets won the last 2 games and Uncle Momentum is on their side. That's sloppy. That's lazy. We don't do that here. And that's why we grow bankrolls bigger, badder, and better than anybody else on the fucking planet. And now we've combined forces to really have a giant enterprise driving around this motherfucker. So it's exciting. I'm excited to get after it with you guys. You can tell I'm ready to go. I'm fired up. And we just have a big card here for a nice Friday. But again, 4:10 a.m., get yourselves ready. Listen, that ain't coming. We can skip it. We put thousands in the bankroll on those UFC Saturdays. So you can't be skipping it. Maybe if you want to skip the curtain jerker, I'll give you a pass. Everybody gets a free pass. If you can't get up at 4 a.m., then you better be there by 4:30. So that's the way we're going to go after it, you guys. Tonight, game number 1 in the NHL. We've got the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're going to go north of the border to Les Habitants. They're going to take on the Montreal Canadiens. And this will be a 7 o'clock start right now. The Canadiens lead the series 3-2, as luck would have it, as they roll into this thing. And, it's so funny because the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference is yet again facing elimination to the number 8 seed. Wow. Does it come in like that? Is that the way it's going to be kind of officially pulled off? Really, I do think that there's this favorite bounce back. I think the problem that you have with this one right now is you look at this line. Tampa Bay had a good game the other night. All in all, it wasn't good enough. Now they have been zigzagging. So there's some validity to that. Guess the question is, which series do you think from a macro level? Okay. Talked a little bit about this the other night, right? All the favorites should advance. Well, which of these favorites blows up the big parlays? And so when you look at this now, you've got the Vegas Golden Knights that can close down the Mammoth. You've got the Lightning playing for their lives. The Canadians can close them down. And the Sabres can close the Bruins down. I don't think all three series end today. So the question becomes, which one's going to stay going? Which one's going to stay rolling? So I approached the game and the card at the highest level there and saying, okay, well, I think one of these teams doesn't get it done. And I think that's probably the Montreal Canadiens tonight. You know, I think two things are going on. One, you got the kitchen sink concept, okay? If you're the Tampa Bay Lightning and you're down 3-2 in the series, you got to throw the kitchen sink, everything and then some out there at this Montreal squad. Now, Dobes, I still haven't figured out this guy's name. I probably should. It's been a whole hockey season. I don't have any excuse. Can he continue to be on fucking fire? That is the question. And so the way I look at it here with Tampa Bay, nothing to lose. Every shot goes in, bad bounces, stupid breaks. I don't think this is like the Flyers situation against the Penguins where it was a 1-0 game. I don't think that we necessarily see a lot of goals in this game, but I do like, in this case, the books are kind of scripting it to us. They're telling us, hey, the Tampa Bay Lightning roll forward. They got Nikita Kucherov on the squad. You know, that dude's just a fucking absolute beast, 130 points on the season. Lots of guys chipping in. It's kind of like the blue-collar Montreal Canadiens team here. I just, look, I think this game goes to 7. I think of the 3 games tonight, this is the one that doesn't close out. And I think because of that, you have to look at this a couple of ways. One, as I mentioned, the kitchen sink theory. You can take the Tampa Bay Lightning. You can get them at a really nice price tag. I think that's the way you got to initially handle this thing. Then on top of that, I like this Dobes to get over 23.5 saves. I think you have to look at it that way and say, you know what? He's going to go out there and it's going to be a tight game. It's an elimination game, but he should be playing on fire. And I think this way here with the 23.5 saves, one of the best goalies in the postseason thus far, you got to recognize it. You got to respect it. And I think Tampa Bay, because of how fast they are, how quickly they can regroup and attack down the ice, you have to look at this kid getting a workout tonight. And I think he does find a way to get over 23.5 saves. But I like the Tampa Bay Lightning. Just kind of feels weird to me, right? Weird in the fact that team that's down is now this favorite like this. It's an ugly situation. So we're going to kick off the card. We're going to look at it as a whole, but then drill it back in here. Tampa Bay Lightning. Reasonable price tag at minus 114 on top of that. So that's the way we're going to kick off this card. Game 2, I kind of gave you guys a little bit of the sneak peek, I guess, as to how this card breaks down for me. Now, I gave you the Boston Bruins the other day. When we looked at the series, we looked at the process, we looked at the thoughts, we looked at, can Buffalo, a young, inexperienced team, deal with a team that was embarrassed? They were humiliated on their home ice. It was 6-1, 4 goals in the first period. Haven't had 4 goals on them in the first period in 25 years since the Hartford Whalers in Boston. And Boston most certainly did not smash. They got booed off the ice. You had to suspect, with the youth of Buffalo and the experience of Boston after that dreadful embarrassment with their backs against the wall, them boys had to come out on fire, and they did. They won the game there in Buffalo. Now it was an overtime situation. Sure. But in this case here, it is the bounce back in the favorite role. If the team was the favorite the last game and they lost, they've lost more than one game on the series and they're favored to win, they win. Over 18 years in playoff mode. We've got some really great data when it comes to the playoffs here. Like a lot of guys are like, oh, we have to see how the series unfolds. History repeats itself. Streaks are made to be broken, but trends are a snapshot in time. And in this case here, it's 43-11 back in a team like the Buffalo Sabres. So I think it lines up. We talked about them with the adversity situation, beat the shit out of Boston, went back to Buffalo, Boston team, foaming at the mouth like a rabid dog. Well, now they're going to go back into Buffalo. Lindy Ruff quiets the boys down, says, hey, fellas, listen, you got this. We got it back. Game number 6. Last game went to overtime. The road favorite are 10-1 over 18 years as well. That's a trend. That's how we use trends to cap the games here. Doesn't mean it's going to win, but it does show us that 91% of the time in this situation over the last 2 decades, when it presents itself, the Buffalo Sabres are the team that prevails and moves forward as they look to rock and roll in the postseason. Last game in the playoffs here, we've got the Vegas Knights, you guys. Like this Vegas Knights team, man. Interesting spot. So sometimes you use the series to cap the games themselves, right? We talked about this with the Ottawa Senators, where the sharp Eastern Conference buy, sharp respected bettors were coming in there buying the Ottawa Senators to beat the Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, that did not happen. So I'm actually okay with that, because I think the Flyers would have had a harder time beating the Ottawa Senators. So that said, number 2 team that the Sharps were buying, the Minnesota Wild, to take down the Dallas Stars. That was actually the number 1 buy, but I guess I ranked it as number 2 just because of, as I'm moving East Coast to West Coast. Sorry, all the good shit happens on the East Coast. So number 2 was look, Minnesota Wild do win that series. Now you get the 3rd most bought series was the Utah Mammoth to take down the Vegas Golden Knights. Problem is, nobody realized that Tortorella is the drawn a blank here. The Carter Whisperer, right? And he's been firing. Now he struggled a little bit to kick this thing off, but I think a couple things happen. First of all, I suspect that the Utah Mammoth will continue to show they're not going to go down without a fight. Back-to-back 5-4 games. Okay? They are a young franchise. Now, Shark and I were talking about this earlier today. It's the first time they're hosting a playoff series, and they've got their backs against the wall, so they should be, fan-wise, out of their fucking element. But how much do they drink? How rowdy are they going to get? Back at home, you certainly got to know that they've had a ton of success with the elevation factor. I just feel like this is similar to the Kings and Colorado series, in that it's time for Utah to pack up shop. Now, noble effort, but you still are the Arizona Coyotes. That being said, I think we see more goals. Hart, while he's finding wins, still giving up 4 goals in 3 consecutive games. So 5.5 is almost 4. I mean, Carter Hart's almost doing it on his own. That being said, though, Vegas Golden Knights, let's go 19 years. How about that? We had some 18-year trends in that Buffalo Sabres arena, that Buffalo Sabres venue here. But the magic number of 2, can they get to 3? The favorite, as long as they're not a huge favorite, right? And I don't know why that is the, distinction point on this game here, because you would think the bigger the favorite, the more likely they are to win. But taking out, well, some of these teams are minus 300. They should beat the shit out of these guys. Okay, take that out of the equation. Game 6 on the road, 2-game win streak, 1 day's rest, not a huge favorite, 9-1, 19 years, 90% win rate, running and advancing through this round of the playoffs, be the Vegas Golden Knights. So, overtime winner on the road in game number 6, by the way. You win game 6 in the series. Last game went to the overtime. You're on the road. You're 10-1 over 18 years. Again, another monster trend that shows us this is a closeout spot. So now that you look at the full picture, back up to the beginning game out there, the one game I don't think closes out the series and moves us forward is that Tampa Bay Montreal series. So there we go. That's 3 games in the NHL with a player prop for you guys. The Knights, the Sabres, the Lightning, and Dobes over 23.5 shots on goal. That's the way we're going to cash in the NHL. Let's move into the NBA, you guys. Appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Have you not done so already? But I told you, I got some spots you need to know when it comes to the NBA postseason out there. And I already kind of shaded, cheated to that situation with the Los Angeles Lakers. So it's the last game on the spot. It's not the only play. I've got 2 plays in that game. So it's not the only spot, but it is going to be a Lakers spot for me. I'll talk to you guys about that more as we get to that one, because again, I've got one extra spot that I want to add to that play here, but a couple things you got to know. I mean, these game 6s are pivotal. How often do we see them go? The road favorite does dominate. They do advance. They are 17-5 over the last 13 seasons. So if you're series number 1, game number 6, and you're the road favorite to win, they do. That be the Pistons in this position this evening. Now, in addition to that, let's drill in from league-wide trends. Let's talk about the Pistons specifically. Not a streak, but a trend. It has to do with the streak, right? The Pistons. I told you guys about the prime numbers, right? 3s, 5s, 7s, 9s. Well, as it is, you look at this thing here, 3s, 5s, and 7s particularly, right? The Detroit Pistons on a 3-game spread losing streak, not covering 3 straight games. They are 8-0 in that 4th game off of a 3-9 cover. So between the universe aligning and showing us over 19 years that the teams on the road favorite in the situation advance. Additionally, the Pistons, and look at this line profile, right? You got 3.5 as the spread. The average line that the Pistons get after not covering 3 straight times is a 4. And they go on and win the game by 21 points. So that tells you blowout city is impending for the Detroit Pistons. We will see how true that is here at the new home on the Sports Money Network. Excited to say that to you guys. Still feels like the old home, but it's got a new car smell to it. You know what I mean? You picking up what I'm putting down? Cavs and Raptors. I found this one to be incredibly tricky. I just looked at this game and I guess you kind of got to think about it again from that elimination perspective. I don't know. The Cavs weren't rated very high coming into this season, into this postseason, right? A lot of people thought that the Raptors, rather, they were struggling against the Cavaliers, but regular season versus postseason, I don't know. This is a tough one. This just full. I don't love this game. Of all the games that are on tonight, this is probably my least favorite. I'll defer. Non-blowout criteria. Team was a favorite their previous game. It is game number 6. They are leading in the playoffs. They do close them down. It's hard to get to game 7. That's what we see. 23 years, 53-24 in this line functionality. They were a favorite their last game. It is game 6. And they have the opportunity to close it out. It gets done. We don't see 7s as often as you would think. And I think a lot of that has to do with the gap in the talent, top seeds versus bottom seeds. And I think that explains why we see these teams not push through and, even it back up. But for what it's worth, I was talking with my guy Shark today, and he said he thought this was a pretty solid Toronto spot. I certainly don't want to go against a basketball expert. And I don't have the conviction or volition to do that. So we'll see if the Sharp Perspective Betting Report gives us any more intel as it relates to it, but should give you guys the splits. That's my fault. Apologize. 59% of the bets, 58% of the cash are on the Orlando Magic. And guess what? The line's actually moving against them, making it more attractive to bet the Orlando Magic. The books are saying, hey, we see that just a bit over half the public likes the Magic. Let's make it more attractive and see if we can draw more Magic betting action. Certainly don't want to be involved in that. Cavaliers, 58% of the bets are on the Raptors, but 49% of the cash. So some bigger bettors do agree that the Cavs shut down the Raptors in this series. 219.5 is the total. It's 87% of the bets, 85% of the cash. No movement. And then the last one is this Lakers game. So this one has come down. 65% of the bets and 69% of the cash are on the Lake Show. It's gone from 3.5 to 2.5. coin flippy type of game, potentially. Here's the deal. You guys I already gave you the Lakers spot. It's funny because I was talking with Shark earlier today about it. And we were talking about the Uncle Mo and said, would you believe if I told you that the team starts off 3-0, they lose the next two, they rally and win that following game? It doesn't happen as often as you would think, but I told you it's hard to get to a game 7. So in the context of a silo, you might look at it and go, yeah, Uncle Mo's on the side for the Houston Rockets. The reality is it's happened 6 times in the last 18 years that a team went up 3-0, dropped the next 2, has a game 6. And all 6 times the favorite has gotten the situation for the Lakers, the team that came out early goes out there and wins the series. So what I like about that trend, it doesn't account for who's the better team, who got the higher ranking or any of that other nonsense. It just shows that the team that came out and ripped off 3 maybe takes a little siesta and then comes back and closes out the series. So that is a Lakers spot, but we're not just going to stop on the Lakers here because look, we got some other data in our back pocket. It has a lot to do with, well, you won 3 games, you lost 2, and it's game 6. Why not stay within the context of that silo? And guess what we have? The road team not performing, the road team not putting up the points. And so the team total under is the spot that I took here for the Houston Rockets as well. Under 104.5 for the Houston Rockets. 2-6 to the under in those situations. It's a tight game though. 197s, 2-6 to the under. It's going under by a point. So they're tight. But if you're qualified, if you're interested in that game 6 situation where I gave you the 8-0, or I'm sorry, the 6-0, if you even go back further, it is 7-1. So 6-0 current run. The thing about that situation, and this is what I'm talking about, the team won the first 3 games, lost the next 2, and it's game 6. In that circumstance, the team covers by 12.5 fucking points. Oh, and by the way, they're a pick 'em. So again, it suggests that the Lakers have a beatdown incoming. We will see if that is the truth, but at the same time, that is going to be the way that I wanted to approach this NBA card this evening. I've got 2 baseball plays for you guys. I'm going to add some baseball plays. I know I just did a show earlier today, but as I look back at the numbers, I wanted to add a couple finals. Final, Ramon. The first one I'm looking at, the New York Mets. Okay, hear me out with this Mets situation. The Angels team is not hitting very well. And the Mets team, albeit that they're sloppy and ugly, went through the bulk of that losing streak. They got busted up by the Colorado Rockies. Now, the Colorado Rockies do have a better record than the New York Mets. But when it comes down to the pitching matchup, the only Angel that I'm really concerned with is Suriano. And then I looked at the, 38% of the bets, but 76% of the money bet the Angels. The Angels moved 20 cents against them, making it more attractive to bet the Angels. Now, Scott and Urania, I don't know. I mean, once you're getting your ERA over 4, I'm not really too concerned. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, all right, well, the lesser of 2 evils, but these guys aren't playing the whole time. So I just, look, Mike Trout's a dangerous son of a bitch. We know that. But the combo, in my opinion here, 2 things. I was looking at, I like the Bichette Soto combo more than I like the Adele Trout combo. That's it. To me, it's not a matter of if Mike Trout can stay healthy. It's when does he end up getting hurt? And so I'm not saying he's going to get hurt this game or anything like that. I just don't think you can rely on this Los Angeles Angels team. So I do lean, and I am playing an official ad here on the New York Mets team. It fits some gematria angles as well here, but I like the price tag. Ultimately, look, team's favored to win, and you're getting them at less than a minus 130. This season, they're winning at about a 60% rate. It's good enough with a small tag on a team that's known to look at the bats on the other side for the Angels. Nowhere near the top 5 that they were last season. So the only problem is the fading of the Mets. But here's where Joe Schmo is going to say, oh, you got to fade the Mets. They're awful. I get it. And I'm certainly one of those guys and believers. But just think in this case with the Angels, you can't look at the pitchers today. Like if you were all about Paul Skeens yesterday, you took a big L, right? It's Paul Skeens Day, right? How can we not? Well, I'll tell you how you're not, because you took the L. And so, listen, I got to fire in that direction. I got to fire on the New York Mets situation. And then I'm going to go official with this as well. I'm going to take the under 8.5 in the White Sox Padres game. I was waiting for the line to do more. It's gone up a full run, right? 95% of the bets, 93% of the cash are on the over in this game. But for me, this goes back to, this is experience, right? So we talk about kind of the three legs of the stool, if you will. The stool that you sit your bankroll on and look for us to help you grow and invest it, develop your bankroll. We use tools. We have technology. And then we use this thing called expertise. Some guys can really read the newspaper well, but they can't put the dots together and tell you an outcome of it. They can't, that critical thinking piece is missing. So the expertise, the experience, hey, a lot of Twitter cappers are seeing things for the first time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, listen, 21 years old, parents give you a couple $100. You want to go put it in FanDuel? Doesn't make you an experienced capper. Just means you have a bankroll, and that's fine. So as it relates to it, though, I think you look at this thing and you come back and you say, well, you know what? This line's moved a full run. In that full run movement situation, we want to be on the other side of that. That's something I've come to learn. Doesn't mean it hits at 100%. No, of course not. But Padres bats have cooled off just a little bit. And how about this from a White Sox perspective? The White Sox at home go over. The White Sox on the road go under. 3-12 to the under on the road. And if it's at night, it's a perfect 8-0. The average line they're seeing is 8. And they're going under by 3 runs. So guess what? Saddle up. We get ourselves a nice little under run in this spot. And I think we can make some good money with that. So going to take the under 8.5 in the San Diego White Sox game. Also, I did screw up, I guess. I got the over in the Vegas game. Over 6, and I think I gave you guys a premium. I gave you a freemium on that with the Vegas Knights to win the job. So there you go. Add it to me. I guess I screwed. Happy accident for some of you guys that don't follow me over on Winnable that you got a premium look, and that premium look are be on the Vegas Golden Knights here tonight. So there you go, you guys. Shout out to the squad. I see all you guys up in here. Redbeard says take the Marlins too. Appreciate you, Redbeard, my man, Truth Teller in the house. What up, Truth Teller? Good to see you. Sports Money. Ramon Scott, 702 Sports Picks in the house out there. Appreciate all you guys that tuned in here for the first episode of Pregaming here on the new home for the Sports Money Network. All you guys checking in on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. All good stuff, man. Good to see all you guys. And I'll be back Monday. We'll talk more Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, pre-gaming here on the Sports Money Network. Tomorrow morning, 4 a.m., we pop off for the UFC. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great night.